Hi. So in this segment, I will be talking to you about the hepatic vessels of the liver and the concept of assimilation. In the previous component, you will probably remember that the ileum is used for absorption. And so this slide is familiar to you. So let me do a bit of recap, okay? In for glucose and amino acids, right? They will be absorbed into the blood by diffusion and active transport. Okay, so it's into the blood, right? Into the blood capillaries. For fatty acids and glycerol, right? They will be absorbed into the epithelium through the epithelium by diffusion, and the moment they are in the villus, they will recombine into fats, okay? And they actually is absorbed into the lacteal and not the blood capillaries. All right? But ultimately, right, when they are being absorbed in the lacteal, at one point in time, they will all be transported into the blood. Okay? So the question is, right, when they are being absorbed into the blood, where does the blood bring them to? And so the short answer is liver, okay? Which I'm going to explain to you later on. But what does the liver do to all this absorbed food? The process that you're looking at right now is known as assimilation. Okay, so assimilation, right, is defined as the process whereby the absorbed nutrients, your glucose, your amino acids, and your fats, okay, whereby they are being converted into new protoplasm or used to provide energy. Okay, and what happens to the excess? What happens if there is more than required? What happens to the excess? Do the liver throw it away or do the liver keep it? Of course, in short, the liver will keep it. Okay, but the question is how. So let's move on. All right. Before we talk about how the liver keep it and how the liver use them, right? The absorption process to the liver is via a very special vessel known as a hepatic portal vein. Before I show you the words, right, let me circle this first. Okay, you see the word hepatic portal vein, and this is a very special vessel that connects the alimentary canal or small intestine to the liver. Okay, so this is known as the hepatic portal vein. The liver, right, also has two major vessels, the hepatic artery you can see over here and the hepatic vein. Okay, now these two, right, the hepatic artery and the hepatic vein, they actually transports blood to the heart. So if I were to draw the heart over here, right, as a schematic drawing, right, so the blood, right, is being transported to the heart, and from the heart, right, is being transported back into the liver. So these two arteries and veins, right, are known as the hepatic vessels or hepatic artery and hepatic vein, and they are part of the main circulatory system. Okay, the portal vein over here, right, is just a vein between two organs, namely the small intestine and the liver. Okay, and that is the reason why the liver actually has three vessels. And yeah, it's quite confusing for now. So don't get the vessels mixed up. All right. So glucose and amino acids, right, are absorbed into the blood capillaries, which you know just now, and then, right, they will be transported into the hepatic portal vein to the liver, and you can see over here. The hepatic portal vein transports the blood, yeah, to the liver, which I already mentioned in my explanation to you guys. Fats will be transported into the lacteal, and they will later be discharged into the bloodstream. Okay, and they actually, right, the fats will enter the liver via the hepatic artery. So it is different, okay? So let me repeat one more time. Sugar, like glucose and amino acids, which I'm circling over here, is hepatic portal vein. Okay? For fats, they enter the lacteal first, which is this one. And then the lacteal, right, will connect to the blood. And the fats will enter the liver from the hepatic artery. Okay? So the entrance, right, is different. They ultimately will all end up in the liver, yes, but the way that they are being transported to the liver is not the same. Okay, so if you can see over here in this picture, right, you can see the hepatic portal vein is not just connected to the small intestine, it is actually connected to the stomach as well. All right, and you can see, right, the whole alimentary canal actually, whatever stuff that is being absorbed, right, whether it's water or whatever, is all being transported to the liver, and this is known as the hepatic portal vein. Okay, in this picture, the hepatic artery and the hepatic vein is not shown. So what you are looking at right now, right, is the connection of the hepatic portal vein to almost every part of the alimentary canal. All right. So what happens to them? Okay, so this is the last slide, and in summary, right, this is what happens to carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Let me start with carbohydrates first. Carbohydrates, right, will be used by the cells, of course, by in a number of functions. The most common one is for respiration. Okay, so you can see me bracketing chapter 3 over here, right? Like I said many times, chapter 2, 3, 4, 5 are all connected. Okay, so you must remember the functions of glucose. The question right now is what happens to the extra? The body don't throw them away. So the extra glucose, right, or the excess glucose is converted into glycogen and being stored in liver and muscle cells. All right, namely, they are stored in other places as well, but liver and muscle cells actually have a lot of them. So this is what it means, okay, when the liver metabolize carbohydrates. For proteins, right, the amino acids that is being used, of course, in so many other ways, in which you can remember in chapter 3. But again, right, the excess amino acids, right, what happened to them? Now, for amino acids, they cannot be stored. Okay, so they have to be broken down, and the liver will break them down. This process is known as deamination. So basically, it is the broken down version of amino acids, okay, which will be elaborated later on in the functions of the liver. For fats, right, what are they used for? Again, you can see the functions of fats in chapter 3. The excess fats are actually stored in adipose tissue. When you see the word adipose, it means fats. And these tissues are found all over our body, okay, mainly under the skin, around our vital organs, so on and so forth. So our body, right, will store the excess fats, which is, yeah, you can see that it's all highlighted. You can take a look at this slide, right, and you realize that the formatting of this slide is whether it's for carbohydrates, proteins, or fats is the same. Firstly, right, you must tell the marker what is the nutrient being used for, of course, and then you also have to explain to the marker, right, what happens to the excess. Okay, and this is known as the metabolism of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats in the liver. Yep. So this is my last slide, and this is what I need to show explain to you, right, in this component. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.